All That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee.
Bulaga Homer Hour. As the Packers make moves, the whole league makes moves. And he can tell us how he feels about the team. And I'm always also wondering how you ever felt about your team in the offseason when you were a player. Do you think in the offseason of some years, we're going to win it all next year, we can play with anybody? Or do you even think that far ahead? I'm of the opinion that even the greatest team players think first about money. How much money they're making, or is it time for them to get the money they deserve given how good they are? And I'm not bothered by that at all. Am I overstating the importance of money to every player or not? That's why this is big, because this is when people get rich. Rich, right?
You're not overstating it. This is tis the season right now. Tis the season right now where guys get paid. And obviously that is the first thing on guys' mind right now is where's the money coming from and how much is it? But if you're in a contract and you're on a team and you're seeing your team bring players in, I mean, I don't know if it gives you extra confidence that, we can win it all, or we can do this. But when you're on your own team, right, like what are some areas that need improvement? Like, as a player, like deficiencies within your own team. And so when you bring in players that fill those needs, it does give you a lot more confidence in that position group or in that, on that side of the ball, whatever it may be, that's going to be improved because of said player that gets brought in. And so it's about the money and guys on the team. Yeah, I mean, this is a time for some, early off-season optimism for some guys and some teams, right? I mean, some teams are adding guys and, well, they're still going to be bad. They're still going to stink. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
That's the way it goes. But you see kind of like what the Rams did, with their cornerback acquisitions. That's going to be something that they feel really good about, and players are going to feel really good about because they have a great front seven. And then on the back end now, they add those two corners, and you feel really good about that, right? You feel really solid that now you added two really high-quality cornerbacks to help, shore up the pass game when your front seven's already really good. So, I remember the couple that vividly stick out was when we signed Julius Peppers. I think that was in 2014.
We have breaking news. Alex Stroh, you have been signed. I didn't think you were playing anymore. You signed with the team?
Congratulations,
Brian Bulaga?
Brian.
Have you been hiding this from us? You're making a comeback?
I don't know. Am I?
Quay Walker to the Raiders.
Okay. What's the deal?
I hope he's getting paid well. They stink.
Do not have a deal yet. We'll keep you posted when that comes out.
All right. So Quay Walker's gone. Obviously, the writing was that when they made the trade, I would imagine, right?
Whatever. Jason has talked about it for a long time. Packers made him an offer. He didn't think it was enough. And I would say, based on this, that I'm guessing he got more from the Raiders than he would have gotten from the Packers. And I just want to let everybody know I have no information. You cannot make a statement any more reckless than that. But do you want to join my club? Do you think he got more than the Packers offered? because I
Yes.
always think the Packers sometimes offer an amount they know is going to be refused.
Yeah.
Just to show that they care about their players. I don't know. Is that an accurate statement at all? Maybe all teams do that. Like what they offered, was it Aaron Jones or other times?
I don't know if they do it in good faith or to see if a guy really will just bite and doesn't trust himself in the market.
Right.
I'm not sure.
And if that's what they think he's worth to some degree, but they know someone else is going to think it's more, so be it. That's how I would be. Like, hey, this is what we think you're worth. If you disagree, then thanks and good luck. Do I need to be friends with anybody? I don't think so.
No, I mean, you don't need to be friends with anybody.
I mean, in that situation. What? No, I mean, but we're talking now about money. I have an opinion. They have an opinion. And now let's see what happens, right?
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, for sure. And most of the time, the player is going to back himself,
right,
and his value in the market. And the agents have a pretty good idea. They claim the tampering period happens in 3 days. That tampering period's been going on since the combine.
Who's the guy who does it for Tannenbaum? Who's the guy on ESPN? He was the GM of the Jets.
Like Tannenbaum.
Yeah, he made this comment. They played it back. It all starts at the combine. Everybody's talking to everybody then. So that's when you meet everybody, you start talking about stuff so that it's just exactly as you stated. Maybe they should get you on ESPN.
No, that's just, I mean, all the contacts and all the numbers may not be number specific.
Yeah, but you know who's out there.
Yeah. General numbers, who's out there, interest, things like that, all happen at the combine.
We got to put the discount liquor Twitter poll question up. Are you going to miss Quay Walker? I'd say he gets 12%.
Yeah, it's not that you're going to miss him or anything like that. I just think he was improving as a player, in my opinion.
Wow.
Right? Like I think he was improving as a player, and whether that's scheme or whatever that may be, I don't know. But I thought as a player he was getting better.
What did you think it was? I will always remember him for, right or wrong, where's he going? Like the place one where he beat his guy, but he's like he's going to get it. There's nowhere around him, and he's just where is he going? Go ahead.
And that was the first few years in his career.
He got better last year. I need to adjust. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I think he was. I think the last 2 years he's played better football. So from that standpoint, you hate to see a guy that is improving walk out the door, right? Like normally that's not what you want to see, especially when he was a first-round pick. But who they traded for, you hope he fills that void and he continues to rack up as many tackles and hopefully find some of his 2024 form and plays that way. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, no, I mean, then I could be wrong because I don't miss him at all. I just don't ever think he was that good. But I thought Cooper would be really good after 2 seasons ago, and he didn't do anything last year at all to me. He didn't jump out. And if players are good, you don't want to lose them. My assessment of Goody has nothing to do with just the draft. It's putting a whole team together. And this is a part of putting that team together. And I have an opinion on Goody, which, I mean, am I always going to say he's good, but not that good. And so that's the situation the Packers are in. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. He actually did probably the best when he first came over and they brought those 4 guys in and they really gave it a shot at getting to the Super Bowl. Since then, obviously Micah Parsons, but I can't defend the position other than that you just kind of rate as you rate players. Over time, you go, this is kind of who he is. There's a little range one way, but so that's what I have with Goody, and I don't know that he could do anything that would change mine. So we'll see what happens next year. I just think the competition, Seattle's better. It's clearly what the Rams do. They don't give about draft choices. They seem to make good decisions, and you got to pass all those people to win the
Yes.
NFC. But
Yeah. The Rams have shown that they don't care about the draft. They'd rather take the risks and pay proven veterans.
all right, Alex Strova has the numbers. Well, the overall numbers. We don't know how much of it is signing bonus or guaranteed. What do we have? What does he have? 3 years?
3 years, $40.5 million. 28 of that is guaranteed.
Yeah, that was what was Green Bay offering him? 11 a year?
$12, I heard. $12 a
$12?
yes.
Yeah, there
a
we
little
go.
more. There is no way. I shouldn't say that. I don't even know. A $28 million signing bonus from the Green Bay Packers
Wasn't happening.
wasn't happening. What would you say?
No.
18?
Yeah, 18 to 15 is probably where they were at, would be my guess. Is probably a 3 or 4 year, probably in the 30s range, low 30s would be my guess.
Yeah.
I guess because I heard the report that it was around 11 a year, kind of like what Sean Ryan got. That would probably be where this contract was. And obviously the Raiders, they upped that majorly.
Now, he could be good with the Raiders because they're not any good. Somebody's got to be
Yeah.
the best in the player, so maybe it'll
Yeah.
other than the fact that I don't really care because he's not a Packer anymore. I guess I wish him well. I am curious to see. I'm always curious to see how players do after they leave Green Bay because that gives me an indication of how the Packers are doing in terms of assessing talent. Like,
Yeah.
who's the defensive back that did so well? Stokes.
Stokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. How'd that happen? He went from just a guy to he's rich now, right? He got some serious.
Yeah, 3 years,
Yeah,
30 mil for him today.
Yeah, 20 something was guaranteed too, like 20. So
Yeah, he got paid. So obviously he did well enough in his year in Vegas
and
to earn a contract.
I would defer to you if you watch the tape a couple times like you usually do. Like, what did he do differently? There may be some cases where a coach or a team makes somebody better, but I'm not in that club very often.
Well, the Raiders aren't making anyone better. At least last year they weren't. We'll just put it that way.
Yes.
So he had to have played well enough, right, to earn that contract. And good for him, obviously really good for him because the way he left Green Bay and kind of the stigma, just he can't do this or can't do that, goes to Vegas and gets paid. So obviously good for him, and obviously Quay's joining him now. So they're both Georgia Bulldogs, right? They're both Georgia guys.
I believe so. Yes, I think that's true. There are a ton of Georgia Bulldogs in the NFL.
Yeah. So obviously good for both of them, right? I mean, you wish them well. You hope they do well. But Green Bay obviously went in the direction of trade a player, which, again, trading another defensive tackle to acquire a linebacker. Obviously, the Micah Parsons deal. You acquire Micah Parsons. There's no regrets about that. But you trade another D tackle and you chip away at an already very thin position. And to me, that now all of a sudden is I know we talk about corner, but right now defensive tackle is a problem.
Yeah, they need multiple. They're going to,
Yes.
between free agents and the draft, I'd almost go with 4. I can see them taking 4 defensive linemen.
Yes, I can certainly see 3 to 4. I think 2 to 3 interior and another edge rusher is where they're going to go. Whether that's free agent and draft, I think that's what's going to be brought in because it's like, obviously Rashan Gary's gone. We knew that was Enagbare's gone. He signs the 1 year, $10 million deal out in New York. So like you trade Wooden. I mean, how many bodies do you have left on the defensive line? LVN, Parsons is coming back from an ACL.
They don't have enough because everybody understands that's the position now where everyone rotates.
Yes.
I mean, the good teams that you have, I would say 6, at least 6. Everybody's got 6 they play, and it's not like some are subs. You can be rotating the full 6 all the time.
Correct. Yeah, you could be doing a full line change within a series, and that's normal now. So I think that position needs some serious attention through free agency and now the draft. Because we already saw last year, when Wyatt went out, how bad the run game struggled. Right, like defending the run once he went out, it really struggled. So now you continue to move defensive linemen out. You got to replenish the ranks, man. You got to be able to replenish the ranks, and how they're going to do that, whether that is through the draft or.
I think it's just going to be both.
Yeah, just who's available.
Yes,
who's available.
How much they want to spend, but yeah, they need bodies. There's just no other way to put it. That's, to me, something that's changed in the NFL. The number of defensive linemen that teams have that play on a regular basis.
Yeah, they dress like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, and I'll defer to Jason or somebody else. Vince can look it up in terms of the number that teams use and the percentage. Like, they have 6 defensive linemen that all play at least 25% of the defensive snaps. Or I don't know what that number is, but I'm just saying I know the number is you just use more.
Yep.
Even if you like the guys you have.
Yeah, you got to keep them fresh. It's all about keeping guys fresh throughout the game. So that position to me is now become kind of front and center, at least in my opinion. I know everyone wants to talk about corners, but I without a first-round pick, and now you got less picks in this year's draft, at least than what they normally do. Like, what they do in the next few weeks in free agency, and then obviously as the draft rolls around, is going to be critical in those 2 spots. And how do you divvy up the capital? I'm not sure.
I guarantee with the draft is going to be a major way to get defensive linemen. There may be other. Tune into the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Bucks versus the World, narrated by comedian Charlie Behrens, reveals the untold story of the '87 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to take on the best national team in the world, the Soviet Union. Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. You got questions for Bryan Bulaga, 1-800-990-3776, or, of course, you can send them on YouTube. Everybody follows YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube whenever or wherever you're listening. We're live on YouTube as well. Nobody comments on what I say. Most more likely to comment on what I'm wearing. Got your winter coat on today? No, I don't. It was in the 70s. You can watch the show, see what's happening in the studio, and comment along with us. Search ESPN Milwaukee in your YouTube and subscribe today. People that do YouTube, not as negative as Twitter, but they can be. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Looks like we got a crash now, westbound 94, right about at Mitchell Boulevard. The right lane is blocked, so watch out for the backups. They're pretty hefty as well, coming out of the 25th Street area, so just be careful with that. On the eastbound side, we got some delays heading right through the Barker Road area in Waukesha County, and then you're back on the brakes from 84th Street towards Hawley Road. Southbound 43, a little heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 38. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, chilly. Showers likely by evening. Chance of thunderstorms. A high of 42. Weather's brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Yeah, coaching matters a lot, and we've fallen short. Those are the facts. Matt LaFleur's on the clock, man. And I know he got an extension, but I'll say this. If they revert and don't get better, you're evaluated on your results.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody knows, it's championship or bust. That is what Green Bay is. And unfortunately, we've had 15 years of bust.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Fisco Auto Body, you go there, you like them, then you like me. This is how it works. It's a family business. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. They've been doing it since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And they still own the business. They still run the business. So the Fiscos are working on your cars. Can you imagine how many years they've probably been doing it? That's one of the reasons they can be so good. Expert workmanship, guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Any damage, Fisco has you covered. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. When you go there, you'll thank them because they're that good. And eventually you'll get around to thanking me. I like that part of it too. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. So you remember the name. Everybody's making money in the NFL. This is the day where you can talk to other players, to teams, and everybody's moving. Quay Walker is the latest to move. He is now a member of the Raiders. Wherever they are now, they're best known if you're a fan of the Raiders. At one time, they were very good because Al Davis was a genius. His kid's a mess, has no idea what he's doing, and as a result, the team stinks. As I tell people about Jerry Jones, this is very mean. This is probably the meanest thing I say. When Jerry Jones took over the Dallas Cowboys, he was interested in winning. He won 3 titles. He's got 3 rings. The last one, I believe, was in 1985. It's 40 years. And I don't believe he's even ever been in an NFC championship game in that time. Somebody can check. I know it hasn't been a Super Bowl. You own the Dallas Cowboys for 40 years, and you don't make even an NFC championship game. You know what you are? You're horrible. And that's what he is. You know when the Dallas Cowboys will be good again? You don't want to say it. Brian, you're too nice to say it.
When he decides to retire.
And that will happen when? When he's
dead. When he sure, yes,
maybe a little bit before that, but yes, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, forget it. It's hopeless. Tell he's no longer a part of it. And yes, there are other possibilities. Think of that. They talk about the Packers, and granted, they've had more winning season than the Packers. 40 years after a guy won 3 titles in what? His first, I don't know how many years it was. Brought in Jimmy Johnson. They win 3 titles. Nothing in 40 years. Now, if I'm being unfair to him.
No. A lot of that is all self-inflicted.
Yeah.
It's all self-inflicted. I mean, it's bad move after bad move after bad hire after bad hire. Or he doesn't stick with some, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just bad decision making. Like, and he's always trying to drive a bargain with his players, which I still don't understand how he, even on his documentary, says, I'm going to still negotiate with my players, even though that they have agents. Like, it's all done to himself. So, yeah, I mean, I certainly don't feel bad.
And it's rare, it almost never happens, that you're so good and you win so many titles and then you never win again. I would say, I will defer to people that follow, but he's been, ever since he won the 3 titles, he's been interested in making as much money as possible. And he's done.
And they have.
And he's been very good at that. Yes, he's done everything well except running his team.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, if he wanted to be the wealthiest franchise in the NFL, he did that.
Yeah.
No problem.
They're America's team. Everybody's the Cowboys, and they're still talked about. They went in diddly squat till he is no longer involved. His kid is involved.
Yep.
But we know with the Davises, there's no guarantee that your kid's going to know what the hell he's doing.
No.
Especially when the person before him is special. I mean, think of that. Jerry Jones was special. Brings in Jimmy Johnson from college. Makes trades, 3 titles. Special. And now he's Timu.
Ego.
He's Timu.
Ego.
Yeah, yes, I guess. But don't you think, not that we'd talk much, and we never did talk, Jerry, what happened? Like, you don't care about winning anymore. And I know that because when you did care, you won at an epically large percentage.
An amazing talent acquisition, too.
Yes. Well, again, that was pretty much done through, I think Jimmy Johnson ran everything, but I like that. Then he even had Parcells for a little bit, but it's
when Jerry thought he could be a great GM, too.
Yes. It's sad, really, unless you don't like the Cowboys, then it's happy. But I can't think if someone can come up with somebody who's gone from so good to so bad. Usually when you're that bad all the time.
Normally, like you're the Browns.
Yes. Are the Packers going to get a corner? We got questions for you now. Better.
Okay.
And I would prefer to talk to you, but you would prefer to have questions, and it is the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Are the Packers going to get a corner because Nixon isn't close to being a number 1?
I don't think that they are going to go into the market to get a corner. We see what they're going for. Look what the Rams paid for top corners. I don't think they're going to go into the market and buy a corner. I don't think that's going to be the case. And if they do, it's going to be a cheaper veteran.
Yeah, the good corners cost a gazillion now.
They're like $30 million.
What the Rams got? And then they paid him $100 million guaranteed or something.
I think it was like 84.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And then they signed another one today.
Yes. No, I think the Packers have.
I think it's going to be a draft. I think it's going to be in the draft.
Yeah,
is where they go after corners. And listen, there's a learning curve to that. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, you can strike gold like the Seahawks did and find a great corner that ends up being first team All-Pro or Pro Bowl as a rookie, and he's just a stud, but that's not the norm. That's just not the norm in the NFL. So, and if the pass rush until Micah gets back is not up to snuff, then yeah, that's going to be tough sledding. until Micah gets back. There's no doubt. Until Micah is back, it's going to be tough sledding back there. You're going to have to hold on for a lot longer, and that's difficult. That's not easy to do. I just don't see the Packers spending $15 to $25 million on a corner in free agency. I just don't see it. And I don't mean in total contract. I mean a year. I just don't see that taking place, especially with the holes at defensive tackle. I just don't see it. But I could be wrong.
You could be wrong, but I wouldn't bet on it. I would say you're probably right. Somebody said on YouTube they need a nose tackle. I think they're going to the 4-3, right? I mean, you need defensive tackle. So, isn't the new guy 4-3 or?
Yeah, he plays. Well, he's played everything.
Yes, he has a number of packages.
Jack of all trades, as they call him. Well, I mean, listen, the nose tackle, it's a shade, right? Like in a 4-down scheme, it's a shade. In the 3-down team, it's a nose. In a 5-down front, it's a nose. So, like, you need a good shade, right? And that's essentially what they do need. I mean, normally it's Wyatt. Wyatt normally plays the shade. He's a bigger body. He moves really well, too. Kenny was the shade. Then they made him switch to the 3-tech, and that's where Kenny wasn't as comfortable and things like that. But Wyatt can play the shade if you needed him to. It's do you have enough quality big men in that position? And right now they don't. Like sure, they have guys that can go in on 3rd and long and rush the passer, but what about 1st and 2nd down against Detroit and Chicago? Like that's more of what I'm getting at than when it's 3rd and 8 and you put on a speed package of Micah and Van Ness and Wyatt and one more, and I don't know who that, because it was Enagbare, so I don't know who that's going to be now. That's more of what I'm concerned about is early down run guys. That also, if it's a play action, they can push the pocket and disrupt the pass. So, like, that's what I'm looking at for them to address in the next few days.
1-800-990-3776. And I don't know if Brian Bulaga, it's the Brian Bulaga Homer Hour. I don't know if you qualify as being on the Yingling hotline, but it's another way to mention. It's amazing they have that beer now in Wisconsin. The oldest brewery in America, now officially in Wisconsin, having been aware of it for some time, every time Marquette would end up playing in Pennsylvania. I think it was just in Pennsylvania. 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities, beautiful setting along the Bark River on 300 acres in Dousman, a top-ranked full continuum community. 300 acres. I can't say it often enough. So you have 1, active adult and independent living, 2, assisted living and memory care, 3, skilled nursing and rehab, 4, incredible wellness programs, 5, long list of activities, 6, a nature-filled campus with 10 miles of walking, all because they got 300 acres. So an amazing staff can be even more amazing with the help of all you can have in 300 acres. 3pillars.org. 3pillars.org. How is Brian Bulaga feeling about the Packers now, given what's occurred, versus before? I will tell you, I'm the same. It's Brian, it's Goody's team, and I'm assuming his team will be similar to last year's team, and we'll see how they do. I don't know what he would have to do. Micah Parsons was certainly huge. So that's been the one. Other than that, he does everything to try to make the team as good as he wants and thinks it can be. And he's B. Does B win you a Super Bowl? Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Still dealing with a crash on westbound 94, right about at Mitchell Boulevard. We have the left shoulder block now, and that's got backups all the way back to about 17th Street. So give yourself tons of time to get through that. Southbound 43, slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high rise. You're back on the brakes from Lapham down towards the KK River crossing. Northbound 43 is just a little bit tight coming out from Fond du Lac Avenue up to North Avenue. And then on eastbound 94, watch for delays from 84th Street past 68. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 38. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, chilly, showers likely by evening, chance of thunderstorms, a high of 42. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. And Wisconsin beer fans, the wait is over. Yuengling is finally here. That's right, America's oldest brewery has officially arrived in Wisconsin for the very first time. Get your Yuengling in bottles, cans, and half barrels. This month, we'll be running special promotions with all Yuengling purchases. Stop in and see why fans across the country have loved Yuengling for generations. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, that wait is over. Now is the time. At Discount Liquor, we stock over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, spirits, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town. From unique craft brews to hard-to-find whiskeys and unforgettable wines, we're your one-stop shop for every occasion. Visit us in Milwaukee at 51st in Oklahoma or downtown Waukesha at Barstow in Maine. Discount Liquor, where selection meets savings. Stop in and grab some Yuengling.
Discount Liquor. Homer here with a message about Three Pillars Senior Living Communities, located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. Three Pillars Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. Three Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on Three Pillars at threepillars.org.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Viroqua sophomore Elias Schwem. Schwem delivered a dominant postseason performance, pouring in 37 points, grabbing 14 rebounds, and adding 5 assists in Viroqua's 68-63 regional semifinal win over West Salem, the program's first regional semifinal victory since 2000. Earlier this season, she surpassed the 1,000-point career milestone as just a sophomore and is averaging 23 points per game, helping lead Viroqua to a 16-9 record. A standout three-sport athlete who also competes in cross-country and track and field, Schwem continues to make her mark across every season. Congratulations to Elias Schwem, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yes, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, and it happens when you're all the Cowboys. It was, I don't know if I said 85. It was 95 because their last NFC Championship game was against the Green Bay Packers. But, so I thank the person on YouTube. Set me straight. As bad as they talk about the Green Bay Packers, who went from 1967 till 95, that would be 28 years. The Cowboys have been worse. Who thinks of the Cowboys as being as pathetic as the Green Bay Packers were? Probably not many, because the Packers only had 2 playoff games, and the Cowboys have had many more than that. But the stretch of the Cowboys longer in terms of an NFC Championship game than ever for the Green Bay Packers.
Not only that, Green Bay, we've played them in the playoffs how many years and have just absolutely smoked them.
Yeah.
Or beat them when they were the 1 seed or the 2 seed or whatever it may be, and just embarrass them on their home field.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
He's an embarrassment. Think I should tell him that if I see him? I don't think he'd be too bothered. And not with his banker. I got a lot of commas in my bank account.
Yeah. I don't think he...
If you cared about the Dallas Cowboys, you would quit right now.
I'm sure he's heard that every year for the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
And he hasn't yet. He hasn't yet. So I'm not sure that's going to rattle his cage as much as one may think.
I want to apologize for that because I like it, because it made it's made things easier for the Green Bay Packers. Everything is important as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. Somebody else takes over the Dallas Cowboys, guaranteed they'll do it better than Jerry Jones has the next 30. You put anybody in there. You put me there. You let me run the Cowboys for the next 30 years. I will make one NFC championship game, which he has not. Now, here we get to the very important part of the show. Bryan Bulaga, will you join that club that in the next 30 years, if I was made the president of the Dallas Cowboys, I could get the team to one NFC championship game in 30 years?
I just have to feel that the odds are in your favor.
Yes. Because what would I do? What anybody?
You'd hire a GM, a good GM, and let him work.
Yeah, I can tell you who I'd hire. And I would let him be part owner. I would make him 1% part owner, as the Washington Redskins did for Vince Lombardi when he went there. That's, people probably know this, but most don't, because that's Don Hudson level. 1%. I would call him, say, you could be 1% owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Guess who's going to be? My total fixation right now.
Yeah, Schneider.
John Schneider, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you know what I get to do after that? Go play golf and maybe be nice to people like Bob Harlan, because John Schneider, you don't even have to tell me what you're doing. He can he can get to one Super Bowl in 30 years. You'll join that go ahead.
I would join that.
Yeah,
I would join that.
If I could get Schneider, you would agree with me. If I couldn't get Schneider, you're just being nice. No, Homer. Trying to think of another GM.
It all depends on who you hire.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to, is who you hire to acquire talent. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, your draft picks have to work, and then who you sign in free agency has to be a fit. Like, you just can't sign guys because they're the biggest name. Like, that doesn't always work out that way. But, like, when you draft guys, it has to work. And Schneider has a track record of drafting guys, and they work out phenomenally, and they're great players. And that is the biggest thing, because then you just re-sign your own all-pro, Pro Bowl players. And it's great.
I would emphasize it's really hard. I mean, It's hard in anything, but you have every other team doing exactly the same thing you are. You all have pretty much the same money, and so you got to be better than just about everybody.
Yeah, it's all based on in his mind and all these GM minds.
And all the people you hire as scouts, the people that you put on your team to judge players, and it's all based on what you think are the best traits, like, to see a great football player in certain positions, right? Like, it's all based on, like, Schneider's always been tall corners over 6'1" or 6'2" with a certain speed, and that's what they've drafted. And I think that he got that from Green Bay, right? I mean, I don't know how much he differs with Green Bay, but he got all his training from when he was a kid.
I would imagine, but Green Bay doesn't always go to that profile.
Correct.
You know what I mean? They're not always in that profile. But when Schneider does draft corners, that's what they are. They're all the same. They're like the Sherman build and the Cam Chancellor build and guys like that. Like, that's what he drafts, and they end up being phenomenal players. So it's all based on what these GMs think is the ideal profile for each position, right? Yeah. And some are better at finding D linemen or offensive linemen or corners or receivers. Like, I don't think anyone's ever outdrafted Ted Thompson in wide receivers. I don't think it's possible.
It is amazing.
I don't think it's possible that anyone's drafted better wide receivers than Ted. Like, you can't tell me that. Like, I just don't think it's possible based on the guys that he drafted and how well they ended up being as players. So,
and he hasn't needed those early first-round picks or whatever when he's been able to find them. I mean, people say they didn't take a first-round pick for a number of years, which is accurate, but it was irrelevant because so many of the great wide receivers he got were early second-round picks. Who cares where you get them?
Yeah, why does it matter? Why does it matter if you didn't draft Devontae in the first round?
Right.
Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, or Greg Jennings. Why does that matter?
We're going to take a break here. I do want to ask you a question. Do you think I should write a thank you note to Jerry Jones? Thanks for being a terrible owner for the past 30 years.
I think he'd like that. I think he'd like that.
Do I mention, as a supporter of the Green Bay Packers, or wishing the best for the Packers?
I think you just say as a avid NFL fan.
Yes.
I thank you.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Everything is important as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. Thanks for being a terrible owner for the past 30 years.
I think he'd like that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And do it around Christmas time.
Do you think he'll respond to it? Probably not, because he's had so many of them in the past. Before we break, Malik Willis, and I'm assuming this is legit. That's the problem you have. You know, Rashan Gary tried to say that was. We all know that actually that. Do we all know now that was not
a hack job?
A hack job. I mean, everybody agrees now that he said it, assuming he was leaving, he wasn't coming back.
I can't imagine it was a hack job.
Right. Here's Malik Willis, supposedly. Maybe is that what you have to do always with everything on Twitter, reportedly? Much love and respect to Packer Nation supporting us and me the past 2 years. It has been awesome upholding the standard for the green and gold. It is more than a blessing, and I will never forget my time here and the relationship I made. Fins up, now that he's with Miami. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 and 34. I'll have to look at the numbers, but I assume that he's going to hold records for the Green Bay Packers as quarterback for quarterback ratings, and I'm not sure even Aaron Rodgers has, but that's partially because he didn't play many games or when he did it. But he has insane quarterback ratings.
Now he's a guy that when you say I wish him the best, I do wish him the best. I do. I hope he succeeds. I really do. It's a great story.
It is.
It's a great story. So I do hope he succeeds and does really well for himself.
Now that he's in the AFC, that's fine. But if it makes life harder for the Green Bay Packers, But I will say, very curious to see how he does.
Yeah.
Because, one, he's got a great situation because it's basically they're the Packers of the AFC.
Yes.
So they know a great deal about him. They know what's special about him, what's worked, and I don't really think he could have a better chance or an easier adjustment. It all, of course, depends on the team and talent he has around him. More with Bryan Bulaga and possible letters to other people other than Jerry Jones. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. On this show, it's always football season.
I'm not overly concerned because it seems as if Green Bay's not overly concerned.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody over there feels like this team was there. We got short-circuited with injuries. We have the right staff, we have the right people, and we have the right players. We just need to stay healthy, and we'll be champions.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Evan Cohen.
On Wednesday, a huge NFL trade came down, as first reported by Adam Schefter, that really told you a ton about the two teams that made it. The LA Rams, bleep them picks yet again, going all in, bringing in cornerback Trent McDuffie, an all-pro player to join their team, giving up a first-round pick. Yet another first-round pick. They do have one left. And they're telling you, we believe we can beat the defending champion Seattle Seahawks, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it quickly in the offseason with a guy like McDuffie. Kudos to them. But also kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes. No matter how banged up he may be and how many games he may play, the team should absolutely revolve around him. And Patrick Mahomes should not be surrounded by high-priced players. He should be surrounded by as many players on smart contracts that can help him win. By littering their team with draft picks, it gives them flexibility and depth. That's how you That's how you build around a superstar quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. Coming up in 60 seconds, let's complain about complaining.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just any tee, the band tee. You wore it everywhere until your best friend stole it. Now you're on eBay, and there it is. Same tee from the same tour. The things you love have a way of finding their way back to you, especially on eBay. Where else can you find that mint trading card you searched everywhere for, or your first car, the one you wish you never sold? It has to be eBay. Shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Tonight, the LA Lakers and Denver Nuggets play in a primetime NBA showdown in the Western Conference, and all eyes seem to be on Luka. You know, the player the Dallas Mavericks got to the finals with, but couldn't win it all, and thus they traded him because of who knows why in Dallas. Only they can tell us. But the Los Angeles Lakers have acquired the superstar, who's going to be a Hall of Famer at some point. But he has become one of the most difficult players to build around. Why? Not because he's not great, probably top 5 in the league. Not because you wouldn't want him, face of the franchise. But unlike other superstars, you have to build around his deficiencies as much as you build around his strengths. With LeBron, you build around to complement. You don't build around to make up for. And I think the struggle the Los Angeles Lakers are going to have moving forward is they are going to have to build around his deficiencies as much as his strengths, and that is not an easy thing to do. He's not a defensive player, thus they have to find defenders who can also score. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Evan Cohen.
The Greater Milwaukee Golf Show, presented by Old Fashioned Golf, is back at the Mosh Performance Center in Franklin, March 13th through the 15th. The show has been reimagined with a simple goal: turn it into Wisconsin's ultimate golf party. That's why Vibes Golf Club, a group of golf-loving former Badger football players, including Melvin Gordon, will be at the show all 3 days. Plus, Bridgestone will be doing some ball fittings, and Carl's Place will be powering Simulator Alley. To learn more, log on to GreaterMilwaukeeGolfShow.com.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Where's that music come from?
I'm not exactly sure where it comes from.
Do we have music? Is that
that's our music
for this show?
Yeah.
Not in a million years. I don't believe that song's ever been played. But I'll ask Bevel tomorrow. See. All right, it's time for the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. We get to the final segment, the letter I'll be sending to Jerry Jones. Thanks for being a terrible owner for the past 30 years. Yes, I incorrectly said 40. It's 30, longer than the Packers when they struggled. And yes, they've won more playoff games, but I don't feel badly for Cowboys fans. All right, here's another one on YouTube. I said they can be negative. Bears are trash. Fluke of a season. They'll finish 8-9 next year in the bottom of the division. I will guess I'm picking Minnesota to be in the bottom of the division unless they resolve their quarterback situation, which I don't think they've done anything yet, have they? But the division's going to be tough. Bryan Bulaga, how do you respond to that on YouTube?
Yeah, no, I don't think Chicago's going to be the bottom. I'm with Minnesota with their quarterback issue. It's not going to change. I think Chicago will still win 9 to 10 games.
Yeah, I still working on the T-shirt. Win the damn division. But I expect it's going to be tough. The division, even if the Vikings are bad or the last place, they proved this past year they could win, even when their quarterback situation isn't good. So there's just not a bad team in the division, and somebody's got to lose, or you spread the losses around when you play each other enough that you won't have that team with that amazing record.
I think that like Chicago had too much cap space to regress that much. Right? Like they're going to be able to add players still and do what they want to do in free agency. And they have, I don't know what their draft picks look like. I don't know if they've traded future picks or not, and what their capital is. But listen, man, you look at what they've already done. They've signed more defense. They've addressed their weak link, and that's their defense. They've signed corners. I believe they signed defensive linemen. So, like, they're addressing their issues right off the get. Like, that's what they're doing.
Packers and the Vikings fighting for the bottom. Now, I will make whatever wager anybody wants to that the Packers will be first or second in the division. You send and bring your money over to Ted's and Tosa, and then I will match it. And just so you know that in the past when I've mentioned this, people have talked about it, but only one person has ever actually placed a bet at Ted's. And I can't even remember what it was, though I did win. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. That's how they can be so good. They've been doing it so well for so long. From health insurance to customized coverage options, Saganiac Planning's experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com. Call John Saganiac today to get started. Just remember 783-262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. All right, I feel the same about the Green Bay Packers because I'm pretty much always going to feel the same because it's all Goody. He's been around long enough, and I think he'll continue doing about as he has. The only shocking thing he's done in all those years would certainly be Micah Parsons, and that certainly gives him a certain potential. Brian Bulaga, how do you feel about the Green Bay Packers given all that has occurred today?
Feel roughly the exact same. I think, it's essentially, swap linebackers, right? That's what you did. And you've retained the same offensive line, essentially, besides Rashan Walker. So, to me, as of right now, but you got rid of Wooden. You got rid of a defensive tackle.
You got to get some defensive line people and solve the cornerbacks. And
yeah, but right now I feel the exact same because it's exactly the same team running it back, essentially.
Will you miss Packers quarterback? Will you miss Packers linebacker Quay Walker? That's the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. 36% say yes. 64% say no. They must be more in your camp saying that he improved because I didn't think it would be as high as 36%.
Yeah. Like, again, it's not like you're like Fred Warner or Bobby Wagner are walking out the door. I'm not saying that. But it was a player that was improving. And when you see a guy improving and he leaves, you're like, well, can we get better? Like, is it going to be a better player that comes in? And that's the question.
I would anticipate about the same. But I will let you be the judge of that.
We'll find out.
We will find out. There are more things to be done. This is just getting started. And we will add to what one thing we know. And they have still not announced the length of the extension for Goody and or LaFleur, right? No one knows that.
No one knows.
That's
an unknown.
That's incredible. Unknown. There are now two unknowns. Which is more amazing, Brian Bulaga, that nobody's seen a picture of Aaron Rodgers' wife or that the Packers and no one still knows how long are the extensions of Goody and LaFleur? Which is more amazing to you?
I would say in the NFL media space, the length of the contract is more surprising, honestly.
Yes, because it has to be reported to someone, right?
Someone knows.
Someone knows
it. And someone's a leaker.
Yes.
Like, what is it?
I know.
What is it?
Come on, let's go, leakers. We need you. Next.
You making love.